Hi people, welcome to my channel, and this is about the Thunderstorm generator and the massive good news regarding the Thunderstorm generator and its pre-production that will be going international, booming in India, booming in China. It's going to change the world forever, and anyone that's got any money to invest in this company, let me just say, you thought Tesla stocks went big, and this is going to leave Tesla in the dust.
Welcome to Alchemical Science. I'm Jordan Collin, an independent researcher, an alchemist, and a student of the inventor and vortex fusion specialist Malcolm Bendall. I'm very pleased to publicly announce that the Thunderstorm generator is going into mass production in a very big way, as the phrase mass production would imply. I've been holding on to the details of this news for some time now, but last week I travelled to Melbourne in Australia to meet with two of the primary strategic partners involved in the rollout of the Thunderstorm generator for the big announcements. In the following interview, hosted by Australian best-selling author and journalist Roland Perry, we hear from Rajneesh and Kartik Dhawan, the Managing Director and Business Development Manager, respectively, of Rockpacker, an advanced automated engineering and manufacturing company based in India, Australia, and the UK. Rockpacker are world-renowned as designers and manufacturers of high-performance drill bits for the mining, oil and gas, and geothermal industries. But in this huge announcement, we will hear about their new expansion into mass-producing the Thunderstorm generator for petrol, diesel and gas generators on all scales, jet turbines, land vehicles, and even coal power plants. We'll also hear from Michael Acris of Acris Industries in Australia. Acris Industries are a leading manufacturer specializing in crafting custom-built high-performance metal machinery for the chemical, industrial, medical and food industries. Michael and his team have been heavily involved in research and development and preparing the final designs of the Thunderstorm generator for mass production with Malcolm and his team and Rockpacker in India. So I've been lucky enough to witness the formation and growth of this project from the very beginning, when I was invited to visit and tour the Rockpacker production facilities and the local university, the India Institute of Technology in Chandigarh, with Samadhi Lewis, the CEO of Strike Foundation, last year. Things have absolutely exploded since that point. I traveled back to India in March this year to see the progress and to assist Malcolm and the team at Rockpacker with further research and development and the prototyping of the Thunderstorm generator. And what I saw and the scope of what is happening with this project in India is just enormous. Strike Foundation, Rockpacker and Acris Industries have been working closely in strategic partnership for some time now to get to this point, and together they form a global powerhouse capable of producing millions, if not billions, of Thunderstorm generator units to retrofit to anything and everything imaginable. So this is just the first of a few exciting announcements that we'll be publishing on the coming weeks as part of the Alpha and Omega Ladder series. To give you a quick preview of what is to come, in the coming parts we'll be catching up further with Michael Acris to go deeper into his experience, his experiments and his involvement in the project, as well as author Roland Perry, who hosts this interview, on his upcoming book Oliphant, a groundbreaking glimpse into the life, the works and the intrigues of the Australian scientist who was truly behind the invention of the atomic bomb, which is often accredited to Oppenheimer. We also discuss black diamonds and links between Oliphant's work and that of Malcolm Bendall and Fleischmann and Pons and plenty more. I also have a bonus interview with independent replicators Ben and David, and some incredible footage we got of plasmoids arcing out of David's overcharged machine in a small, dark, sealed room that we hung out in for about 40 minutes with the Thunderstorm generator running on a generator. So please note that we are still alive and well after this experience, and I'm not sure anyone really needs more evidence than that, but get ready because it's all coming. The floodgates have really opened now. But with no further ado, I will hand things over to host Roland Perry and Raj Dhawan and Kartik Dhawan of Rockpacker and Michael Acris of Acris Industries for this exciting mass production and strategic partnership update.
I'm Roland Perry. I'm an author, and today I'm interviewing Michael Acris on my left. This is Raj Dhawan and his son, Kartik, and they're going to talk about the Thunderstorm generator. Now, that sounds a bit out there, thunderstorm, but it's all in the microcosm, and what the main object is, as I say in simplistic terms, is to kill carbon in combustion engines. In other words, everything going on today with carbon targets for everyone will be eliminated over time by this technology. And it's going to make a massive breakthrough in terms of killing carbon and energy release, the energy released within the system. So, Michael, if you've got anything to add to that.
So the fuel efficiency is another thing that you can look at. So the fuel efficiency is increased in the process. So it's a win-win situation. You know, basically you've got a unit that's producing oxygen. You've got fuel efficiency. What else do you want? It's revolutionary.
So how much efficiency are we talking about? I mean, a normal control at the moment would do what? How much?
Well, it varies on the device, obviously. If it's a petrol, if it's a diesel, gas turbine, results show somewhere around anywhere from 40 plus. Yeah.
Right.
40 plus, which is big numbers. You know, you're talking.
So that will cut it by 40%.
Yes.
Right.
So you're running that engine for a longer period of time with the same amount. You're recovering the heat. Your exhaust is basically oxygen, so it's breathable now. Instead of killing you, it's basically a tree, you know.
Yeah. So you've got killing carbon, you've got oxygen production, and you've got energy efficiency.
Efficiency, yeah.
You two are left with anything else? We're sorry, because you would have known all that. But what can you add to that in your thoughts about the TSG?
So yeah, I'll give my introduction to the TSG. So it's as I understand, it's an emissions reduction technology which can be fitted to any internal combustion engine or even any non-internal combustion application like chimneys, right?
Yeah.
As long as you're able to create reciprocating motion there. So anywhere in any application, if you have emissions which are non-desirable, you can convert those into desirable emissions like oxygen. So this technology has the power to bring back petrol, diesel, coal, all of these technologies which are being phased out.
Yes.
Just because of the emissions.
That is a fantastic point, I think, overall. And it does sort of cut down the need for windmills and the wind farms and things like that. Yeah. Oil and gas, drill baby drill from the President of the United States still applies.
Indeed.
And we noticed that EV cars are a bit on the wane, and so are other vehicles that would be part of the market. And if, say, I know there are 2.8 billion motor cars, if you got the market for that with combustion engines, it would make a hell of a difference to the pollution. But that's small fry compared to the turbine and the generators. That'll be for sure. And the chimney, the coal-fired plants and so forth. Now, your company is Rockpecker. Can you tell us in just a few words what Rockpecker does mainly?
Rockpecker, this name comes from the UK. We founded this company in the UK in 2012.
Yes.
And we primarily focus on very, very precision things. And we cater normally to oil and gas, aerospace.
Right, aerospace.
And the rock drilling segment. So all that stuff, and we are now focusing on the TSG.
Right. Now, Michael, how do you describe your operation?
So we're a family business. So we started in 82, or the Acrus name started in 82, and we do high nickel alloys and special materials. Right. So we do the titanium, the Inconels, Incalloys, Hastelloys, all that type of thing. Mainly for chemical, but we do get involved in a lot of R&D and special projects.
Well, it leads into the next question.
Yes.
How are you two combining on Thunderstorm generator?
I think Michael is more of an idea generator, and we are the ones who are going to focus on the manufacturing side of it.
Right.
And with proto building, of course, Michael initiates it. And then we are going to adapt the manufacturing practices, how to make it in bigger volumes and all of that stuff. So that's our baby, to commercialize it. And Michael is more towards the brain side of it.
Design and stuff like that, yep.
Now, what are the main products we're talking about? Obviously, we've got the turbine. We've got coal fire plants. We've got Thunderstorm generator for cars, for simple combustion engine. Is that where you're headed with all this? Is that what the aim is?
So I'll address this one. So currently, the two major projects that we are processing at Rockpecker with regards to the TSG, the first one is the industry standard generator,
Right.
which is used in two configurations, petrol and diesel.
Generator. Yeah.
So these generators come from various different manufacturers of various different sizes, and we are designing, manufacturing the TSG units that can be retrofitted to these generators.
To the generator.
Yeah.
Well, and then the second one is the jet engine, because I'm interested in
Yes.
that. What do you see as the biggest revenue producer? Just an ideal situation at the moment. The generator first and the turbojet second. Would that be right?
Correct.
Right. Okay. And what would you put third? What would be the third thing? Would it be cars? Would it be vehicles? Not really. That's up the track a long way. What about coal fire plants, for example? Would that be in?
Yes.
Right.
So chimneys of coal fire plants.
Yes.
Of nuclear plants.
Yeah.
Anywhere there's a chimney where there's a lot of emissions being exhausted into ambient air, that's a target for us.
Well, it's huge in India, isn't it? Because you're still building them, which is fair enough, and the Chinese are doing the same thing. So if you can eat into that market at some point, it's going to be massive for the whole TSG, Thunderstorm Generator business, is it?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
The only thing there to consider is that the TSG, as you can see the unit here, it functions on the reciprocating motion.
Yeah.
So in a chimney, there's no reciprocation. It's just flat out exhaust gas. So there needs to be an artificial reciprocation being created. So that needs to be designed. So that's
Okay. Do you think that's any trouble for the chimneys? That's going to be. That's
It's already in place. So
correct.
So you'll have the retrofit in
Yeah.
there, and they'll have an additional thing which will
Yes.
handle
Yes.
the emissions. That's fascinating.
Yeah.
It's a huge
So
market.
Yeah. So it's not a barrier, but it's
Yeah.
something that needs to be designed and done. Yeah.
So when you say the design, you're looking at the Vajra, which we've got in front of us here. And you've got, what else have you got? The ionizer and the bubbler.
So in a standard TSG unit, there's the ionizer, bubbler, and the Vajra.
Right.
For any chimney, there's a fourth addition, which will be the reciprocating motion.
Right. The reciprocating motion for the chimneys and things.
Yeah.
So it's interesting. You just say that's no problem. You can do that, right?
Correct.
And that would be you two working together on the design.
Yes, that's right.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Right. So
As we have been.
yeah. This may be a ticklish one, but when do you see a breakthrough in terms of a really big take up of the TSG, and from what area? What's your sense? Is it going to be the generators first, do you think? That there'll be a take up of the technology?
Will be focused more towards the urgent things that are coming up.
Right.
Especially, there's a focus on defense side,
Yes.
and there's a focus on the mining areas.
Yes.
And also the carbon credits thing going around the world. This will
Yes,
definitely, add its own value to the humanity, because the environment is something which is
Huge.
a concern of the day today. So obviously we are moving towards different Euro standards.
Yeah.
So generators are big contributors. So it's more of focusing on the areas which are more contributing for
The carbon
emission. Yes.
Yeah, I know. I get on a plane myself, and on the ticket it tells you your footprint, and you multiply that by the number of people on it. It is amazing. So if you could wipe that, you will wipe that. Not if, you will wipe that out, which is fantastic. And you mentioned the military as a market. You're looking at some areas of the military. Obviously, you can't talk about that here.
Yeah.
And other areas, mining, which is a specialty of yours with your drilling techniques and so forth. So you're looking at that area as well.
In mining, you can imagine, when they go under the ground, there's very conditions where, very less oxygen and more of carbon dioxide, and, people try to inhale it, and, it's very difficult to breathe in.
So it makes sense to get rid of the carbon dioxide.
Correct.
Wonderful stuff. So going back another step, how did you two get to meet Malcolm? What happened? What was the connection?
So as part
Well,
of
company, I should say Rockpecker.
Yeah.
The company.
Sure. So as part of the Rockpecker team, we have Kieran Swords in one of the top people. So he's the business innovation director at Rockpecker, and he looks out for strategic opportunities in various sectors, typically oil and gas, medical, semicon. But one of his personal interests is revolutionary energy technologies, and he keeps bringing such technologies to the board, and we review them. And the TSG was the only one where we saw.
CSG, yeah.
Yeah,
If you thought you could apply.
Correct.
Good work.
Correct.
Right. So that would have been Malcolm personally bringing that to you. Was that Malcolm or were representatives?
So Malcolm was presenting at a conference in the US.
Right.
Where
This is Malcolm Bendel. Sorry to butt in, but Malcolm Bendel, who is really behind the whole TSG development phenomenon, really.
Yes.
So you met him at a conference.
I didn't meet him, but yes, Kieran from Rockpecker, he met him at that conference. And yeah, the product was brought to us. We reviewed it. We did our own internal feasibility study. I personally traveled to various test centers globally where this technology was being manufactured and tested. I witnessed all of those tests. And then finally, we commissioned a study internally in Rockpecker where we retrofitted one engine and the technology was working.
Very interesting stuff. Now, how did you link up with
I've been doing similar products for years, and I think it came across from Jordan's video. So originally, I think Jordan.
one of Jordan's
I think
video, alchemical
I was looking at the agricultural stuff that it was doing actually originally.
Yeah.
So that was a few years ago. Yeah, and then somehow just got involved. Yeah, just.
I remember you said to me some time ago you'd been looking at Tesla's stuff.
Yes,
early on,
a lot
which is
of
an interesting connection. And you're probably the same in terms of the Tesla technology. And Malcolm, of course, is an aficionado on Tesla.
Yes,
he loves all that. And that's a connection for him because we're talking about free energy there.
That's right.
With cold fusion, which is the basis of the Thunderstorm generator. So that's how you were. You must have had a moment.
Yeah, it was funny because, it's a lot of products that are like around 95, I think it was. From 95 sort of onwards, I was always looking into those free energy type, or not free energy, like alternative energy. It's probably a better term. And I've been doing certain projects, and it's all just combined over those years, and here we are.
Yeah, I mean, just for the audience sake, we'll know about cold fusion anyway, but it's it's $1 trillion industry with the hot fusion with the major oil and gas companies and aerospace companies and so forth. And here you are saying, well, we can do it on the Thunderstorm generator, which is a retrofit.
Yes,
it's a micro operation compared to the massive investment being put into hot fusion.
Yes,
cold fusion is done at room temperature. So basically, essentially, that's it. And were you Tesla orientated too? You two, were you aware, or not so much? I mean, you've come into contact with it since.
Yeah. So personally, I've been a big critic of many technologies. So I would be on the other side of the table.
Okay.
I've changed sides after I've seen the TSG.
All right, that's fine. Now, what about the history of the Vajra? You want to talk about that because that Malcolm's comprehension of all that and your history, the Sanskrit and so forth, has been a factor, hasn't it?
Absolutely. So this is perhaps one of the most interesting parts of this technology. The inventor Malcolm Bendel, he has derived this through his access of the Akashic knowledge, and whenever you talk to him, it's through the Indra's Vajra, hence the name Vajra applied to this product. And you can even see the geometric similarities between the historic knowledge in India and this product.
That's very
extremely fascinating.
How it's come full circle now with Malcolm bringing it in and claiming an avatar connection, which is another thing we don't need to go into. But it's fascinating because he does comprehend and he has brought forward the technology that India rightly claims, not just in the mythology, but was used in historical context, maybe 10,000, 12,000 years ago. Correct?
Yeah.
Right. So that gives you an extra dimension in terms of dealing with Malcolm because the mythology, the historical context is all there with this work. So that is additional. And of course, Michael, your connection is actually dealing with this stuff when you're 20 years ago.
That's right. Yeah. It's amazing how it's come around.
Because
all the Tesla, Walter Russell, all these people, Schauberger, you know, the list goes on and on and on and on.
Now, you mentioned the acacia before, which a lot of people won't know. I know what you're talking about. How do you explain that in the Indian context without it getting too ethereal, without it getting too much up in the clouds?
Sure. So I can only tell about my understanding of it, because I am not someone who's able to access Akashic records. So these are records that can be accessed by a lot of focus and meditation, and people are able to access knowledge records where all of humanity is accessible. Yeah.
It's a broad, sweeping concept, but because of your, shall we say, belief system from historical links, you're open to anyone who's talking about that.
Yes.
He knows what you're talking about. You know what he's talking about. Where you're a leap ahead of the Western world on that, in that sense. You're
Correct.
well ahead.
The fact that those concepts are familiar to the Indian civilization
Yes.
is what differentiates us.
And we've got the negative trying to pull Malcolm Bendel down and the whole thing. We know about that. We don't need to go into that.
No, but as an industrialist, as a businessman, you can simply take the stance that if the technology works, if there's third-party validation, full stop.
Looking at all this stuff, and I've been looking at the test results for 8 years since I met Malcolm.
Yeah.
That's all I care about.
Correct.
Your stuff is fascinating, and I obviously want to comprehend it, and Michael's access to it as well. In terms of the history of Tesla, all that is fascinating. But in the end result, we've got to look at what the Vajra does, what the Thunderstorm generator does. And essentially, it's an add-on for all these major areas, which are combustion engine based.
Yeah. And the gas turbines. Yeah, combustions.
Yeah, combustion. So that's what I look at as a cynical old journalist. I'm looking at the results. I love all your stuff as well. I really do. It's fascinating as a writer. I'm not just a journalist in that sense, and it's fascinating. But in the end result, I want to see the printout that says, oh, only oxygen's coming out the exhaust. Oh, carbon is killed.
Yes.
CO2 is killed. Carbon monoxide is killed. All the dirty pollutants are dead in the engine. Any idea? Obviously, you've got to make a breakthrough. But once it takes off, I would have thought there's going to be a reduction. You'll be able to see a reduction in carbon emissions fairly quickly. There'll be a reduction. We can't wipe it all out tomorrow, but it will be a reduction, right?
So the first industry to have a quick impact is going to be the generators, because it has the least amount of regulation and least amount of, it's the easiest one to retrofit.
Okay.
Yeah.
So that's a very, very good point.
Yeah.
What's quickest to retrofit?
And the gas turbines as well. Gas turbines will be good to retrofit. And they're needed because the power is.
Oh, of course.
Well, we're getting so hungry with energy. The gas turbine will release. They're big turbines. They're big generators. They've got lots of. You're talking megawatts.
Yeah.
So they're good power out of them.
Yeah.
And once we have successfully done it in two industries, generators and gas turbines. The other industries like automotive and power plants will automatically be flocking towards this technology.
I think that's a very, very fair comment. So the breakthrough will come. It's not if, it'll come, and then it'll attract a lot of people.
Correct.
And then
It'll attract R&D investment from all of these automakers. So that will really accelerate the work in those industries.
I would just add to it, we are with this invention by Malcolm is going to make people's lives better. And, we get rid of all the ills of the older technologies, which humanity has adopted now. So it's going to make a big change.
That's a good note to finish on that. Thank you to the three of you for coming along today and voicing your opinions on this wonderful breakthrough technology. Thank you very much.
Absolute pleasure.
Michael, Raj, and Kartik. Thank you.
Thank you.
And that is all for this first big announcement. Remember to make sure you are subscribed to Alchemical Science to catch the next parts in our Alpha and Omega Ladder series. In the coming parts, we will be catching up further with Michael Akros to go deeper into his experience, his experiments, and his involvement in this project, as well as author Roland Perry, who hosted this interview on his upcoming book Oliphant, a groundbreaking glimpse into the life and works of the Australian scientist who was behind the invention of the atomic bomb. And we will also be catching up with independent replicators Ben and David, and we have some incredible footage to share off